Hi everyone, welcome to part 4 of our Science Fair Guide videos. This video is all about creating a bibliography for the science fair. So to get started, I've created a Word document. This is where I've typed up my research. So you can see that I have, in fact, 3 paragraphs. 2 paragraphs is usually enough, but my topic required 3 because I was researching heat, styrofoam, and plastic. These are from the example that I gave in the previous videos about the effect of different materials that cups are made out of and how they affect the heat retention of water inside the cup. So this was my example. I have 3 good paragraphs. You can see that I indented at the beginning of my paragraphs. I indented by hitting the Tab key 1 time, and you can see it makes a perfect indent. Notice I didn't leave any space between my paragraphs. I just hit Enter, came to the next line, hit Tab, and started typing. And there is 2 spaces after every period and 1 space between the others. So this is what it looks like using Microsoft Word. I also made an example for those of you who don't have Word on your computers. Here's an example using Google Docs. So the Google Docs is something free. If you go to Google and you actually Google Google Docs, it'll take you there and help you get started. You may need your parents' help with an email address because you will need an email address to get Google Docs. So this is the same thing that I typed before. You can see it's in Times New Roman font. Times New Roman. It is font size 12 and it is all black ink. So that's what you want for both, or whichever one you're typing it in. So I've done this research, and up here I have opened the websites that I use to do my research. So here is one about styrofoam. Here's another one. It's a more kid-friendly one. Here's one about plastic cups, where I got my information about my plastic cups. And this is one about heat, because those were kind of the topics that I got from my question, which was what's the effect of the material a cup is made of on the retention of heat. So these are the websites I used. I also used a book. It's called Science Alive Heat. And so I've written my research paper, and now I just need to make my bibliography. This is how you spell bibliography, by the way. And I'm going to be putting it down here below. And so I can see it's still Times New Roman font size 12, and the same is true here. I'm going to put it down here under the word bibliography. And so now I just need to come up here and I need to go to the first website that I used, and I just need to copy. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to right click and hit copy. And then I'm going to come here to a website called easybib.com. So here's the address, www.easybib.com. Now, for your science fair project, you want to use MLA format. It sets to that automatically, but you can check here and make sure MLA is underlined. And this is a website that I'm using, so I'm going to use website. If I were doing my book right now, I would click on book, but I'm not. I'm doing my website, so I'm clicking on website. And then I'm going to right click in the box and hit paste. And you can see now it's this website in the box, and I click the orange Cite It button. Okay, and so here's the information they found. And it says here, continue to the final step. Okay, now I would like some more information, but I don't really need to provide this information. And so I'm going to go ahead and click Create Citation. All right, and so here is what it's giving me. And there are a couple ways to do this. You can click Copy and Paste here, or you can do what I'm going to do. I'm just going to highlight it, right click, copy. I'm going to come to my Google Doc first. And so if you're using Google Doc, you will paste it in, paste it without the formatting. Paste with formatting. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we are going to highlight it again, and we are going to make it Times New Roman. We're going to make it font size 12. Now you'll notice that it's in italics here, which means it's slanted. That's what you want. The only issue is right here. In a bibliography, it works the opposite of a paragraph. So ordinarily with a paragraph, we know we indent the first sentence and leave the other sentences or the first line, we indent the first line, and we leave the other lines normal. But with a bibliography, you do the opposite. You don't indent the first line, you do indent the next line. So I'm going to click on the next line and hit, oh, that didn't work right. Comes the next line, I'm going to hit enter one time, and then I'm going to hit tab, and it will work. So you do have to hit enter and then tab. It won't make it go down. It'll just free it up so that you can tab it over. All right, so that's my first one there. So that's if you're using Google Docs. If you're using Microsoft Word, you can do the same thing. I'm going to come here. I'm going to paste it. All right, I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to come up here and make sure that I make it Times New Roman, font size 12. Okay, you can wait and do that all at the end if you'd like. And so there it is. I'm going to come down here, and again, you have to hit enter and then tab, and it will indent the next line. So now I'm going to go back to my internet. I'm going to go to my next website that I used. All right, I'm going to copy that internet address. Oops, didn't work quite right. There we go. Copy it. Come back to EasyBib. I'm still on website. I'm going to come here, do my next one. Cite it, scroll down, click the orange button again, scroll down, click the orange button again, and there it is. So now I'm going to highlight that one, right click, copy, and I'm going to go to my Google Doc and I can put it there. Oh, I don't want to be, so when I hit enter, it automatically took me to the indent, but I don't want to be indented. So after I hit enter, I'm going to hit backspace and it'll put it back where it needs to go. And I actually do want to leave a gap between them this time. I do want to leave one space. So again, if you noticed when I went here and hit enter, it gave it a tab, but I don't want that. So then I hit backspace and hit enter again to give myself a space, and now paste it in. And again, I need to change my formatting. But like I said, you can wait and do that all at the end if you wanted to. Whoops. Over here, Times New Roman, font size 12. All right, and again, that means I'm going to need to indent here. So I hit enter, tab, and it's perfect. And then I can come to my Word document, same thing, come here, hit enter. Again, it takes me to the tab that I don't want, so backspace, enter, and I can paste it here. So you can see it works the same way. And again, enter, tab. So if you can use Microsoft Word, if you're used to using that at school, it's easy to use Google Docs at home. You can see they're both working pretty much the same. Now, there are a couple more ways to do citations that I'll show you. I have 2 more websites that I used, or 1 more website that I used, but I've already shown you 2, so I don't feel like I need to show you that one. But here is, let's go ahead and do our book now. So I'm going back to EasyBib. Right now it's set to website. I need to change it to book. Don't forget to do that. If you're trying to do a book under a website, it's not going to work right. So go ahead and go to book. And my book is called Science Alive Heat. So that's the title. I'm going to search for it. And it may give me a bunch of choices, and it does. You can see it gives me quite a few here. Now I'm going to look at my author to make sure I have the right book. And looking at my book, the author is Darlene Lau. I'm not exactly sure how to say the last name, but when I look here, Darlene Lau is indeed the author of this book. So this is the book I'm looking for. So I'm going to click Cite This, because that's the right one. Okay, I'm going to click Create Citation. And there it is. So again, I'm going to copy it. Copy. And I am going to go to my Google Docs. And again, I'm going to hit an enter to give me an extra space. I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to come up here and tell it Times New Roman, font size 12. Okay, and this time I don't have to tab or anything because it all fit on one line. And so that is how you cite those sorts of things. I will go ahead and put it in my Word doc to show you one more time. So here's how I would do it in Word. Come down, hit enter. I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to highlight it. I am going to do Times New Roman, font size 12. Okay, and so that gives me 2 websites that I've done. This is the book. And now there's one more kind of source that you might need to cite. So you may have access to an encyclopedia or something through your school. I know here at Parsons we definitely have lots of online resources through the school, and some of them are really neat. They have a special feature. So you can see this is an article on heat, where I got some information about heat. And if I come over here, there are all these different icons. They aren't always in this place. Different online tools put them in different places. But on our online resources, all of them have this square with a check inside it. So sometimes they're up here, sometimes they're down at the bottom of the page, sometimes they're over here, but somewhere on all the pages, you can find a square with a check. And you'll see right now it says cite, and if you click it, it will actually give you a citation. And so you tell it MLA and it will show you. If for some bizarre reason you were doing something else, you could do that, but for science fair, you use MLA. And so again, you can copy and paste it in, but make sure you copy the whole thing, even this part down here. This is important as well. So get the whole thing, okay, and do right click, copy, and you can go to your document, okay, and paste. And then again, you're going to need to fix your formatting, so highlight it, go up and do Times New Roman, font size 12, okay, and you can do that for your Word document. Obviously, I'm showing you both documents. Do not feel like you need to type this in Word and Google Docs. That's not the point. I just wanted to make sure that you could see if you were using Word or if you were using Google Docs, what to do. So again, up here, Times New Roman, font size 12. So now, and you'll look, it's blue. I can fix that pretty easily. Highlight it, come up here, and tell it black. Okay, so now, oh, and this is kind of gray. I should have fixed the whole thing. Black. Okay, so now I have my research typed up, and it has a very nice bibliography. Oh, this should be indented. So tab, enter, and then tab. And everything now looks correct. I have my research paper with nice paragraphs and good grammar. I have my bibliography with each of my different entries. Now, you'll notice that I didn't do all of my websites. I also use this one. I would still need to do that, but I don't want to bore you on this video by doing the same thing over and over. So, that, oh, this one's the wrong color too, so let's fix that right quick. And we want to change the color here to black. So now it's black, and I can fix this indent. Remember, it's enter and then tab. And so now it looks good. Always make sure that you save, file. Oh, you may not need to save in Google Docs. I think it may save automatically. But if you're doing Word, you need to do file, save as, okay, and then tell it where to save and give it a name and those sorts of things that hopefully you've learned at school. And if you haven't, your parents should be able to help you. But I do believe that Google Docs saves things automatically and you don't have to hit save. So that should give you information about how to make that bibliography, how to type your research paper. Again, make sure you're doing Times New Roman, font size 12, and you can use Google Docs. If you don't have Word on your computer, Google Docs is completely free, as long as you have an email address to sign up with. You can also use other word processing programs. If you're using a Mac and you have, say, Pages, or an iPad and you have Pages on that, you can certainly use Pages or other word processors. These are just two of the most common types. So I hope that you found this video helpful, and now that you've completed your research, it is time to learn how to write a hypothesis based on your research. So go ahead and watch the next video to see how to create a hypothesis.